Vivo is the brand new Sony Pictures Netflix original animated film. Comes to the director of the very first Cruise movie and has all original music from Lin-Manuel Miranda. The film stars Lin-Manuel Miranda, Zoe Saldana, Brian Tyree Henry, and Gloria Estefan, and tells a story about, again, Vivo, who's played by Lin-Manuel Miranda. You see this type of animal. His goal in the movie is to send this song written by his mentor Andres to Marta, played by Gloria Estefan, in time for Marta's last performance in her long, illustrious career. The film is an hour and 39 minutes and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new Netflix review here on Max Social Movies, another movie review as well. We're talking about Vivo, and a lot of people were talking about this movie leading into it because Lin-Manuel Miranda has original music and is the lead in the movie. So before we start with this video, guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers to do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show that I released today. Also, at the end of the video, laying down my future videos. A really busy week with this week, so stay tuned for that. Also, comment down below your thoughts. First of all, if you've seen Vivo on Netflix, sorry for the late view again. Tell me, what are your thoughts, non-spoiler, of Vivo? And also, if you haven't seen it, tell me. I know we're already on Monday, movie came out on Friday. Are you going to check this one out this upcoming week on Netflix? And also, please, guys, the thumbs up button down below, the like button. That's the best way also to support the channel. Let's talk about Vivo. So for me, guys, I was really pumped. In the Heights is one of my favorite movies of the entire year. I love that movie. Hamilton also, again, Lin for me does work a lot of the time. So I was excited to see new original. I know he has another animated movie coming out this year called Encanto. I think it's coming out later this year. That's also just an all animated movie with all of his own new original music. So pretty big year for Lin-Manuel Miranda. And let's talk about the movie. So I was, again, very pumped. And first of all, the best part about this movie is the culture and the songs, which is normally a huge plus with Lin-Manuel Miranda's projects, especially the ones that he writes his own songs for. Now, he doesn't have a writer's credit with the script, but it seems like the script does revolve a lot around his songs. And the fact he's actually voicing Vivo also takes to another level. There's a lot of his isms are in the movie with him rapping, which is some really fun stuff in the movie. But the film does a great job of culture. The most of the movie takes place in two places. It takes place in Cuba, and it takes place in Florida, which are very, obviously heavy Latino area, especially Florida here in the United States. So there's a lot of cultural impact the movie really does have. And the idea of community is something that he really brought to In the Heights, obviously. And this movie has a lot of community feel to it, what it's like when someone passes away in Cuba and what the community surrounds them, what it's like to live there, and all of this different types of stuff. And the big differences between Cuba and Florida are just so on point with the movie. So that was great. Also, again, the songs are high energy. And I was never bored by one song. There wasn't one memorable song for me. Maybe it was the one where Vivo and this young girl, Gabby, I think is what her name is, when they were on this boat in the jungle. That song for me really worked. That was probably my favorite song of the entire film, but still in general, I still really enjoyed the music from start to finish. It's a very high energy film as well. I was never bored watching this movie at all. And my favorite character dynamic was this dynamic between Vivo and Andres. Andres is this guy, old man who couldn't tell the woman he loved how he felt. He wrote a song, never sung it to her. And Andres took Vivo in Cuba and started playing songs together. And that dynamic was, for me, the best part of the entire movie and brought a lot of emotional feels for the movie. The first 30 minutes of the movie I really loved. I was like, I really am loving this movie. It does take a big dip in the last two acts, but the first act was really great, establishing this Andres and Vivo relationship. You get both sides on why they would want to go to Florida, why they won't want to go to Florida. You really bought into both characters and their dynamic, even though Lin obviously does those intro songs, which get you caught up on where the characters are. But even with very few exposition scenes about how these people came together, it still like you feel Vivo and Andres have known each other for such a long time, which is easily the best part of the entire film. again, it's a fun movie. I had a really fun time. I know kids are gonna love this movie. It's made for kids. Um, this also comes from Sony Pictures Animation, which is really becoming one of my favorite animation studios out there. It made one of my top, it's my number, I think it's 3 or 4 movie of the year right now, which is Mitchell's versus Machines, which is also a Netflix original. Wish Dragon, this is already their 3rd movie of the year on Netflix. Really done Spider-Verse, Arthur's Christmas, all these different types of movies. The Transylvania franchise is all Sony Pictures Animation. So they're a pretty big time studio now, and getting this type of talent continues. But let's talk about the negative of the movie. And the Andres and Vivo relationship was so great in the movie. The relationship between Vivo and Gabby did not work for me whatsoever. And because they made Gabby such an annoying character in the first 2 acts of the movie, and they kind of want you to feel sorry for her and get why Zoe Saldana plays her mom, it just didn't come all the way together. Gabby was quite an annoying character, and it just became a bit of a cartoon. And obviously it's animation, but the first 25, 30 minutes of the movie, which Vivo and Andres feels like while yes, it's a talking animal, it has very authentic feels to the movie, obviously with the culture, but also the meanings, the values of these 2 characters. It felt authentic. And then you kind of get to a cartoonish aspect of the movie where Gabby's acting so annoying to a point where she's really unwatchable in some scenes in the movie. She definitely is much better in the 3rd act, and some of her songs are actually quite good. But I just feel like they were just way too many subplots going on in the 2nd act of the movie into the 3rd act. How Gabby is a Girl Scout, she hates it, and these 3 Girl Scouts are on the journey with our 2 characters. That for me didn't work at all. There's these flamingos on the journey. With one of them is played by Brian Tyree Henry. While it's fun to see him sing, it was just a forced subplot to get more creatures in the movie. Michael Rooker voices a character in the movie who is a creature in the jungle. There's a little bit too much going on, because the actual central story involving Andres wanting to give his son Vivo, helping him give his song to Marta, played by Gloria Estefan, is actually the best part of the entire movie. The problem is, at times the movie kind of forgets that that's the more emotional storyline than this Vivo relationship with Gabby, and that it takes a huge hit because it becomes way too familiar. And at that point, it just feels like another animated film. Then it actually kind of felt like at times it could have been a special movie like Mitchell versus Machines for me, where it really hit me hard emotionally. This one could have been, and the actual main story did, but there was so much other stuff going on. They wanted Gabby to be the 2nd main character in this movie, and I'm just not for that. So again, not the voice actors did a good job. It was none of that. It was just a forced storyline to make it kid friendly, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So still, I had a fun time with the movie. It's a fine animated movie. I watch it with the family. If you like anything Lin-Manuel Miranda, you probably have to watch this movie. He's the main character, and it's all of his songs. So I'm going to give Vivo a 3 out of 5 stars, a 60% on the money. That's my review of Vivo on Netflix. Tell me if you liked it, disagree with me, or like me in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, remote. As I said, more videos coming down the line this week. This Wednesday is my next video, is my spoiler review of episode 1 of Marvel's What If. Also reviews this week for Kissing Booth 3, Beckett, and Free Guy are all, and my final episode of Bad Batch. That's all this upcoming week. So you gotta subscribe and ring the bell. See you guys soon.